Greetings. My name is Mike Levis, and I'm an instructor with the Mount Hood Ski Patrol Avalanche Program. In this presentation, we will continue our discussion of human factors in decision making. We will start by discussing some common scenarios where human factors can impact decision making, then wrap up with a discussion of tools to compensate for heuristic traps and other decision making challenges. Let's run through some common decision making traps you may encounter. Rush for first tracks. We've all seen this. Gotta get that fresh powder. This is the scarcity heuristic in action. City time versus mountain time. City time has us wired to operate on a schedule. The mountain doesn't care about our schedules. Conditions should dictate the schedule. This means that we need to alter our mindset and accept the fact that our schedule may need to be adjusted. Smelling the barn. This is common at the tail end of a trip. The rush to get back to the trailhead can result in poor decisions or lack of attentiveness regarding signs of increasing risk. An avalanche can happen on the way back just as easily on the way out. Have conditions changed that increase the avalanche risk? Risk tolerance. The key issue here is the variation in risk tolerance between different members of the group. Some participants may have a high risk tolerance and be inclined to take greater risks. Others in the group, not so much. This should be discussed in pre-trip planning, along with how to resolve any conflicts that occur during the trip. Avalanche skills versus travel skills. We've touched upon this briefly in the last module. The best skier in the group may not be the most avalanche-aware person in the group. Weather can also affect our decision-making and perception of risk. Bad weather can lead to haste, which can lead to weather tunnel vision. The group may not be as attentive to signs of instability due to the focus on worsening weather. Both weather and avalanche hazards may be present, and both will need to be managed. On the flip side, good weather can lead to a false sense of security. After all, avalanches don't happen on a bluebird day, do they? The point of this slide is that while weather is important, you need to stick to whatever process you're using to manage risk in avalanche terrain. Attention to slope angle, what may be above you, the presence of terrain traps, and signs of instability need to continue in all and any weather conditions. Economics can also influence decision making. All of these examples are various versions of the scarcity heuristic trap. Quest for first tracks in powder leads to the we have to open the area mindset that can lead to increased risk or just ignoring the signs of avalanche danger. The next one is commonly heard from people visiting Mount Hood and the Oregon Cascades from out of state. They spent a lot of money on this vacation and they're determined to get their money's worth. This commonly occurs with the third example. Another chance may not come along for a long time. An item of note, with the increasing requirements for permits in Oregon and Washington, I'm hearing more of this kind of thinking. Permits are a scarce commodity, allocated by lottery in many areas. People who have permits will sometimes make decisions based on the goal of maximizing time in the permitted area at the expense of increased risks from other factors such as avalanches. Both of these attitudes can lead to poor decision making and can end poorly in elevated avalanche conditions. Equipment also plays a role in the level of risk people are willing to accept. The widespread use of beacons and airbags should have reduced avalanche fatalities. The data indicates otherwise. Why is this? Studies seem to indicate that as risk is reduced by advances in safety equipment, people increase the level of risk they're willing to accept. This effect is called risk homeostasis. Tremper refers to it as increasing the stupid line, as shown in the bottom figure on the slide. Carrying safety equipment shouldn't give you permission to take more risks. It's like wearing a helmet. You do it because it's a good idea, not because it lets you do more. Decision making can be complicated when traveling in larger groups. Groups tend to assume a greater risk than individuals. There is an attitude of safety in numbers that leads to greater risk tolerance. Several other heuristic traps can also come into play. Competition, particularly between males, can lead to increased risk. Goal alignment can complicate decision making. Does everyone in the group have the same goal? Is there a common goal that's been communicated to the group prior to the trip? With a large group, there can be a wide variation in experience and skill level. This can lead to a wide disparity of risk tolerance and greatly complicate decision making. There is also the herd mentality pitfall, where the more experienced group members have the expert halo and less experienced members are reluctant to speak up if they're uncomfortable with a decision. And of course, communication in general is more complex. These issues should all be discussed before the group leaves the trailhead. Compare this with the situation with a small group. With a group of 2 to 4 people, communication is greatly simplified. You can more easily align ability level and risk tolerance, and more easily come up with common goals for the trip. So what can we do to improve the quality of our decisions and reduce the effect of human factors? This slide lists some general steps that any group can take as part of pre-planning to set the stage for good decisions. As we mentioned in the previous modules, it's really important that there be a leader. If you're traveling with a small group of friends, this is less critical, but there should be an understanding of who will be in charge in the event of emergency. There should be a common goal for the trip, and the goal should be known, understood, and agreed by all members. The time to hash all this out is before you leave home. Communications is important, obviously. Beyond the frequency of communications, though, the method of communication should be thought through. Will radios be needed? Will there be cell coverage? Considerable thought and discussion should go into defining points along the route where decisions will need to be made, what alternatives can be planned in advance, and how decisions will be made. This includes decisions to cancel the trip before you leave home, or decisions that can be made at the trailhead regarding different routes or different activities based on conditions of the moment. Keep an open mind, be flexible, and be willing to constantly reevaluate plans. Don't get locked into the consistency trap. Hazard evaluation is a process. Whatever process you use, and there are many, should take away uncertainty and help you organize and prioritize data. The process is intended to improve the quality of decision making by forcing the group to make data-driven decisions. Data-driven decisions can remove or reduce the biases that human factors can introduce. The process needs to be something that is ongoing throughout the trip, not just something used at the trailhead and file away. As you go throughout your day, new data will become available, and your plans need to be revised to reflect the new inputs. In Module 10, we discuss several hazard evaluation tools that force data-driven thinking. ALP-Truth, red, yellow, green light, and evaluator are all tools that are intended to reduce subjectivity in decision-making. There's one additional mnemonic, FACETS, shown on this slide that is specific to human factors. FACETS is a helpful tool for sound decision-making and to eliminate human factors bias. Add this to your toolkit. The bottom line in all this is to make decisions based on facts, not assumptions or desires. Be aware of factors influencing decisions and human factors that can color or corrupt the decision-making process and lead to poor decisions and increased risks. Thank you for listening to this module.